Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back if you are a regular here. This is the continuation of the Idaho 4 series of readings. Sorry if this is coming in a bit later than expected. It's actually a spontaneous reading I'm doing now. I wasn't intending on doing a reading today, but the urge wouldn't leave me. So, you know, when that happens, it usually is happening for a reason and I need to get a reading done and out of my system. So sorry for those of you, especially if you're in the UK, because you're going to suffer the most. But if you're in the States, it's probably not going to matter too much, especially on a weekend. So let's see, who is it today? Why was I so drawn to doing a reading when earlier this evening I was so tired I just couldn't think of anything? Yeah, a herd of wild horses couldn't have got me to sit down and do a reading, and then it just grew and grew. So who is it? Wow. Another one that I've already read before, but you can see it's Miss Bethany. Miss Bethany Funk. And again, interesting what her part is in all of this. This is her second reading. So this is a psychic reading. I use tarot cards and I use oracle cards, and occasionally I get messages from spirit. And I interpret these messages in my own way, and you may interpret them differently in your own way, and I encourage you to do so. At no point am I stating any of this to be factual, or am I making any accusations. This is for entertainment purposes only. So all the same cards have been left out on my table since the last reading I did, which was on Hunter Johnson. So I'm going to use the same cards. And I'm going to start in the same way with the vocab deck for Bethany. She's probably the most elusive well, she's not the most elusive person in this whole case, but she's the most elusive person for the main witnesses in the case. But I have read her before. I've read her parents before. And I do seem to, for some reason, remember her reading quite well compared to others. And that was one of the very first readings I ever did. She's definitely highly protected. Her family have influence. That's what I saw, that's what I felt, and that's what I still feel. So let's see. So we have inure and curmudgeon. Curmudgeon's a nice word, isn't it? So inure is to harden through use. And the example is Harris's work as a prosecutor inures her against the abuse of politics. We also have curmudgeon, which means a disagreeable person. Every neighbourhood has one curmudgeon who views everyone with suspicion. So I think this inure is something about her having to have dealt with this situation, and it has toughened her up. If she's going to ask herself over the last 3 years, if she looks back on who she was before this happened and compares herself to who she is now, she probably feels like she's a completely different person, and it's made her grow up very quickly. even though I feel like she avoided most of it. But I say she avoided most of it. She couldn't avoid the public speculation, which is probably the hardest thing to deal with. Curmudgeon, a disagreeable person. Is this about her believing that that's how the world saw her, as someone who was disagreeable? Like she was the missing link, she was the most suspicious person. Or is this about someone else that she's had to deal with? Has she had to deal with a curmudgeon? And then we have fatuous and puerile. So fatuous is unserious. With the expression "let them eat cake," Marie Antoinette revealed her fatuous and shallow attitude toward her French subjects. And puerile is boyish. I always thought puerile meant immature. Well, that just shows you I don't know. Max's attempts to impress his older cousins only made him look puerile. Learn something new every day. Fatuous and puerile. I don't think this is about her. I think this is about someone else. I don't know if both of these cards are about a particular person, because who is boyish? And what has that got to do with anything? Fatuous, unserious. Marie Antoinette revealed her fatuous and shallow attitude towards her French subjects. Don't know. It's like, I mean, the theme on this card is youth, which is also very appropriate because she is very young. Strange. I'm going to put them to one side and wait for the clarifiers. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not getting anything definitive yet. So let's carry on. What lies beneath? So we have keeping a promise. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep these cards in view. Keep forgetting. So keeping a promise. Let's turn them up that way so you can actually see them. And red lipstick stains. So this promise, who is it she's having to keep a promise for? She's having to keep a promise about what happened. Is she having to keep a promise to someone else to protect them? That's what I think this is. The red lipstick stains, to me, is about, we're going way back again, these things that stay with me that I can't forget, was evidence of Dylan having adult relationships with a police officer in the house, because, not because of, it was something to do with the Ruggs connection. And did Bethany know? Did she know? Had she always known, or did she find out but she's sworn to secrecy? Maybe that was the deal. Maybe that was the deal. If you keep quiet about this, then we promise we'll never drag you into the, you know, you'll never be a witness, or you'll never be called to the witness stand, or I don't know. It's like maybe something like that happened. So next deck is What's the Vibe? Oh, God, I hate that card. So this is exhausted, burned out, burdened, and empty. And then we have lust, greed by any means necessary and inconsiderate. So I don't know how actually in reality, how close were Bethany and Dylan? Did they actually get on? Or did they, get on as necessary because they lived together in the same house at times? I don't see them as being close friends. And I think that this card is about Dylan, not Bethany. I think this card is about Bethany. Because I've said before, and I stand by it, I don't think she was even there at the time. And the reason that she had to testify, or, she was a witness or claimed to be in the house at the time, was as a proof that Dylan was there. I don't know, it's a weird one, because I know she came back. She came back in the morning early, I think around 6, 7 a.m. I just don't think she was there at the time of the unalivings. But anyway. And we have Path of Shadows next. One has flipped. So this one has flipped in its gargoyle. And it says, in stone I'm carved, let alone in the cold. Always watching over, protecting stories untold. So someone, this is to do with someone that is the person that's watching over and protecting her. It's strange. And we have owl, wisdom, shadows, deeper truths. I don't know why I keep feeling like this is something to do with the church. I need to know her family. What are their religious affiliations? What are their connections with the church? This is something to do with the church. The protection comes from the church. Is there someone in her family that is affiliated with the church? Okay, next deck. The next deck is the Babel deck. It's this one that I love shuffling. It's just let's just do it this way. Interesting. So we've got an older gentleman with a spyglass. It looks like he's trying to do a thorough investigation. Who is he? And we have a truck. Looks like it's somewhere like Asia or Indonesia, traveling through a flood. They look like refugees. I'm not saying they are. Probably not. They're probably quite safe and happy. like a shelter. They're trying to shelter. What is this about? This deck always makes me think very hard. So this one gives me vibes of, I don't know, is there someone in her family, grandfather perhaps? Who maybe has some kind of link to invest. Did I imagine it, or did I read or imagine that one of her family were a lawyer? I don't know, but this is the sort of thing. Someone that maybe he was a lawyer, is a lawyer, probably no longer practicing. I don't know. But it's like whoever this person is knows exactly what's happened. It's like they hold so much power because they could expose a lot of people. And because they know so much, that's why Bethany's so protected. It's like, again, there's a bit of deal going on here. It's like, I know exactly what's, you've done. It maybe he's pointing that at some police officers, law enforcement. I have proof, and so long as Bethany remains protected, then so will you. It's that kind of thing. But then this truck, it's like shelter from the rain. Where are they going? They're trying to escape the flood. It's interesting because some of them are protected and some of them aren't. When you look at the ones underneath the tarpaulin, some of them aren't under the tarpaulin. So there's more than Bethany that's protected. Kind of know that, don't we? But this handful of people here aren't. They're exposed at the end here. So who are the people that are exposed apart from Brian Koberger? It's interesting because there's also, as I look at this, I'm seeing things. I'm seeing things that don't fit or don't seem quite right. Like there's a horn. Is that a horn on the top of the cab? Or is that a speaker? Is it just a horn? Or is it somewhere that you would, I forgot what it's called, like a tannoy system? And if it's a tannoy system, what's that about? Why are all these people in the back of this truck? I don't know. Am I being suspicious? Because if they'd been captured, that's, they could jump off. They could just escape, surely. They seem happy enough. There's a kid there with his tongue out. But one of those I'm going to have to keep looking at because there's messages there. Let's do the tarot. So we have these two cards, fatuous, puerile, inure, and curmudgeon, clarified by the Four of Wands and the Six of Cups reversed. So I think these cards, what these are about is she really didn't gel with anyone in that house. I think she saw them all as being immature, not just people she couldn't connect with. I don't know. It's interesting. Six of Cups reversed. She was glad to leave that place because she never felt happy there. She was happy to leave. But she's had difficulty moving on, which is what the Six of Cups in reverse is about. It's about not being able to let go of the past or find closure. Which is weird because if she wasn't there, didn't witness anything, I don't know. I am confused by this one. So this is keeping a promise and red lipstick stains. You know, if what I've been told is right about Bethany's liaison with Jack D, maybe that's what this is about, is that that is her biggest regret. Maybe that's what she can't get past, is how I mean, she wouldn't have known at that point what was going to happen. So we've also got the Empress reversed. Wow. So the Empress reversed can be about a failed pregnancy. So from what I was told, she'd had a one night liaison with Jack D, drunken fumble, whatever you want to call it. And that she did fall pregnant, but I didn't find out what happened after that. And according to this, she either either miscarried, or she she terminated it. Three of Wands. I think she terminated it because that's about making plans to move on. So once that was done, she moved on. I want the keeping of promises. I don't know. I don't know if that's about, did she make a promise? Did she make a promise to Jack that she wouldn't do that? I don't know. Then we've got the Lust and the Exhausted card, which I thought was probably about Dylan. Clarified by the Knight of Pentacles. She's a hard worker. That's what I get for Bethany, is that she is someone who, she's quite mature for her age. She works hard, she studies hard, she's quite ambitious. I think she went through a bit of a dark night of the soul after the Jack thing, before the 13th of November, where she just started hitting, drink and rugs and things just to try and forget, or numb her, especially if she had, maybe she did that early on, maybe she terminated it early on. I don't know. Four of Swords is her recovery, really. Wanting to be alone. So what's this Lust card about? See, I don't get any cards yet from Bethany about she knew everything that was happening. But I need to go back to her reading, because something very different about her first reading. But then since then, I have been kind of told by Kaylee that a lot of the readings I did that I assumed were about the night of, she said those you're picking up energies from different nights. So that could be what's happening. But the Nine of Wands, courage, persistence, lust. It's weird. It's almost like Bethany was constantly asked by Dylan, or told, it's more like she was told that whenever Bethany was in the house and Dylan was there, if that law enforcement officer was there for some physical activity, Bethany would have been told to be the lookout. You got to keep your eye out, keep a lookout, make sure no one comes in, make sure. And Bethany was just absolutely so tired of it, but she couldn't. There was no way avoiding it. She had to do it. She had no choice. Yeah, it's like she was the guard. And the Nine of Pentacles. It's like almost like she was. This is like gaining financially, but we're not talking GoFundMe or anything like that. It's almost like hush money. Which means that she's financially independent. Anyway, this gargoyle and the owl. I said I thought there's something to do with the church. Clarified by the Five of Cups reversed. This could also be about someone who's passed in her family that she feels is watching over her, or someone who is watching over her, which is interesting because I did get that vibe to begin with. But maybe there is still a connection to the church. Maybe it's the person that passed that had the connection to the church, but maybe the family have a connection. I'm thinking grandparent, great-grandparent, self-respect. So sorry, we've got Queen of Wands reversed. I can't remember Bethany's sign. But I think this is more to do with someone in her family that's passed. I'm thinking grandparent, grandmother, possibly, or someone that she had a connection with that felt like a grandparent connection. I don't know. Someone who was incredibly confident, outgoing, great sense of humour, strong, formidable, fiery, you know. They were the hierarchy. They were the, yeah. Queen of Swords. So this is who had to step into the shoes of this person when they passed. Queen of Swords. So is this Bethany's mother? I don't know. It doesn't feel like her mother. Maybe it's her father. I don't know. It's a strange one. Yeah, I mean, it could be her mother, could be an auntie. I don't know. But someone is now has to take on the role of whoever this was that passed. Sorry, that Queen of Wands was reversed. Whoever they are, they're very wise. They're very experienced and wise. I don't think they're young. They're definitely not young. Eight of Pentacles. Again, very hardworking, very high standard. Very independent, diligent. All these things are kind of the kind of things that are have been drummed into Bethany throughout her life by these female, the female influences in her life. And then these two cards from Babel. So what's the old man? Seven of Pentacles. Again, this is more about hard work and perseverance and diligence and what's the word? Consistency, working for the long term, not the short term. Wheel of Fortune reversed. She's trying to break cycles that are happening or have been happening to her since this happened. Maybe she's developed difficulties with her emotional health. She's been self-medicating in whatever way. Maybe she's on antidepressants, or and she's having difficulty sticking to the required prescription. I don't know, but what's this truck about? like an evacuation, isn't it? It's almost like an evacuation. That's kind of what I'm getting with this picture. They being evacuated because it's dangerous. King of Cups reversed. I think Steve G when I get King of Cups. It's really interesting. That card's going to be on my mind for a long time, because this means something. Were people evacuated from the house before it happened? I mean, that's maybe a bit far-fetched, but because I don't think it happened in the house. That's what I can't quite figure out. But what I do think happened was, at the time when those 4 were due to be taken back to the house to be placed there, that's when they had to be out. So I don't think Dylan would have been there. I don't think Bethany would have been there. I think the house was empty when the necessary placement happened. And we have the King of Cups in reverse. And this time I think this is something to do with a member of law enforcement. And the 3 of Swords. That's interesting. 3 of Swords, not 4. So that's 3 people. 3 people that were returned to the house. Does that mean the 4th one was already there? So as I've said before, I think possibly one of them passed in the house, but the rest of them definitely were outside of the house somewhere else when they passed, which is interesting. This truck though, what's this? It's like, what's the evacuation to do with? Oh, it's left me with more questions, this one. What does Bethany know? She's even hard to read. What does she actually know? Let's pull a yes/no card and ask. Does Bethany know everything that happened? Does Bethany know everything that happened on the 13th of November, 2022? Does she know exactly what happened to Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana? Yes. It says, yes, this is the real deal. Your efforts bear fruit. Then why am I not being shown it? Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you for now with that reading. And thank you, as always, thank you for everything, for all your support, for your comments, for your engagement. Even though I don't get time to respond to all of your comments, please know that whenever I get a chance to sit down with a coffee or a cup of tea, I sit on my phone and I scroll through all those comments and I try and work through them, and I try and like at least leave a heart or a comment. So please know I'm not ignoring you. I do appreciate all of your help and your support. And if you haven't done, please click on this link that's coming up here. It'll probably come up in the next 30 seconds or so, to my other channel, which is Revelation Astro, which takes you to all your Zodiac content, to your daily guidance, to crystal content, tarot tutorials, you name it. But please support me over there as well, because I need to get the numbers up, because that I'm doing that completely free of charge. Absolutely free. I don't get paid for any of that. And I do put probably more work into that channel than I do this one. So any moment now, this here, please click on it, go and subscribe, make sure you hit all the notifications, and I will see you next time. Enjoy the journey.